Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and have a nice day ahead. Developing COVID-19 Risk Management System in Malaysia Higher Learning Institution is the title for this project invention. My name is Karya Anwar bin Abdul Hamid and I am from PRIN. This project was co-invented by Associate Professor Dr. Izrin and Dr. Mita from FIS. This is some background of the study. As you can see, this graph explains three pandemic waves in Malaysia that lead to chaos in hospitality facilities early in November 2020 due to higher severity case. The first largest number of infections recorded at workplace in November 2020 showed that COVID-19 SOP alone is not enough for us to contain the virus. According to Neven, Oshraf, and Tomsik, most of non-complaint practice contributed by young adults, meaning that a student from university and college. In review toward 26 studies on preventive behavior during the pandemic, none of them come with a proper risk assessment. This problem statement lead to the development of this OSH management system to combat against COVID-19 infection at the university. In review of more than 200 studies and vast information from WHO, there are three approaches that government use to battle against the pandemic. They are social and economic restriction, effective vaccination program, and herd immunity. But let us think again, what is another approach that more practical that can be contributed by the organization? A study conducted by Randolph and Barrero revealed that systematic risk management system can be a solution for this issue. So I come up with this research objective to develop COVID-19 risk management system in University Malaysia Pahang, which can be represented as a whole to the other Malaysia Higher Learning Institution. The system then was tested for its validation and reliability analysis. Why this project is very important. So this system identified COVID-19 risk as well as evaluate the effectiveness of current SOP based on current pandemic situation. Risk management might as well may comply with the requirement of Section 15 in OSH Act 1994. On top of that, according to WHO, if one country having more than 90% of complete vaccination among their citizens, they can turn pandemic become an endemic by ensuring that the high motivation on hygiene discipline in such health guideline being updated and well assessed. So I would rather say that one of the method to monitor SOP and health guideline is through development of risk management system. This is the methodology for this project. So there are three development phase was involved before the system granted to be used. The first phase is HERAL training. The second phase was to establish COVID-19 HERAL template as well as its risk matrix, which I believe that those from OSH practitioner might familiar with the assessment tool used in this project. The final stage is regarding on its template validity assessment, reliability analysis, and usability survey. Right. So this is how COVID-19 risk matrix was developed based on PAIR concept. PAIR means P-E-A-R. P is for people, E environment, A asset, and R for reputation. Which is this PAIR concept was created by Kashwani and Nelson late in 2017. This system comprised of HERAL and its metric, which I will explain in next slide. Let's take a close look on this risk metric, which comprise severity concern to people and reputation, while likelihood scale rating came from personal factor and safe movement restriction. The scale rating 1 until 25 is adapted from DOSH Hierarchy Guideline 2008, and data from CDC, MKN, and previous study were used to formulate each respective severity and likelihood scale rating. In severity column, patient with no symptom categorized as level 1, mild symptom 2, moderate 3, serious ill health is 4, and death is 5. While in likelihood row, safe movement restriction and personal factors such as age factor, BMI, comorbidity play important role in deciding which level the likelihood will be. The formula to calculate risk rating is given by the severity time likelihood. For example, staff with age more than 40 and has comorbidity is likely to have a higher chances to get infected by serious ill health. of those has frequent traveling from one to another location may as well has higher chances to get infected too. So this is how the risk metric work. The COVID-19 Hero was developed in Microsoft Excel. Besides free license, Microsoft Excel provides the researcher with the ability to calculate, organize, and evaluate quantitative data, allowing the researcher to freely explore its functionality that best suit the type of semi-quantitative data in this study. So this is a risk management template that derived from clause 6.1.2.1, 6.1.2.2, and 6.1.2.3 from MSI ISO 45000:2018. It comprises of hazard identification, which is I highlight in the red color, risk assessment in blue color, and opportunity in green color. COVID-19 virus identified as biological hazard, and the only practical and effective way to control fall under administrative control, which is SOP and PPE. It can't be eliminated nor isolated based on its natural characteristic. Okay, hazard identification consists of identification of activity, sub-activity, condition of assessment, content of organization, hazard category, and OSH risk. Risk assessment column consists of severity, likelihood, risk rating, risk level, existing control measure, type of control hierarchy, ECM factor, and residual risk rating. Risk level between 1 to 4 considered as low, while 5 to 12 is medium, and 15 to 25 is high. Both medium and high risk level require planned approach to hazard control, explained in detail in this presentation. So please, you can pause this video to have a close look on this slide presentation for better understanding. In next slide, I will show you some example on how this COVID-19 risk management work. Here's some example for first routine activity in the university. The activity namely as a teaching and learning session where class and lab physically conducted. The first sub-activity namely lecturer or technical person entering the lab. Okay, the condition assessment is a routine contact or organization, which is you can select from drop down menu is an internal issues. Hazard is a COVID-19 infection and categorized as a biological hazard, and OSH risk can cause a death or respiratory illness. All this for hazard identification. Moving to the middle part is a risk assessment. By referring to risk metric, as explained before, we can calculate the risk rating based on how the activity was conducted. It is need student and staff to travel outside and has a high chances to contact with many people, their age, medical history, comorbidity. So all this will work to calculate the risk rating. Back to this activity. In general, I select the worst case where severity is 5 because this project was conducted before the vaccine is available for commercialization. For the likelihood, I select 2 because the activity was conducted within the campus. So I get 10 for risk rating, which was a medium. See, this is a risk rating before implementation of any control measure. So I gather all respective SOP related to entering the lab. For example, a lecturer session, and I found that submit health declaration, scan body temperature, frequent hand wash, sanitize, and wear face mask is a type of standard operating procedure that we must follow. So all these control measure is fall under SOP and PPE. Where based on this system, the ECM factor is 0.6. So risk rating is recalculated by given formula of ECM factor times risk rating. So I get 6. 0.6 times 10, so I get 6. So it was reduced to a certain number, to a low number actually, but it's still in a medium level, which require additional plan approach. So that means current standard operating procedure MPP is not enough to contain the virus. Here come the opportunity in a green color column. Okay, where it will specify on how to reduce the risk rating to the acceptance level. So I found out there are few approach can be implemented, and they are replace the class through the online session, complete vaccination dose, prior permitted to enter the campus, and or we can conduct investigation to identify the factor for non-compliant practice among the student and staff through KAP application. So KAP is a stand for knowledge, attitude, and practice. This is an example from activity national conference. This one is an international conference or exhibition. And we also evaluate activity for office operation in general. And finally, we have a research activity in the university. As conclusion, the complete COVID-19 risk management system should be communicated to all parties in the university, so everybody will alert and take necessary action to absorb new norm in daily routine activities. This is just a small step university can cope with that can be a huge mileage in supporting government direction and initiative for a hope that someday we can live together with the virus during endemic post-era. Okay, so finally we have some supporting document for this project. The first one is into the master of thesis, and then the second one is proceeding of the international conference regarding on the paper of reliability analysis for development of COVID-19 risk management system, this is a conference conducted in Johor Bahru for the third Asia Pacific International Conference of Industrial Engineering Operation and Management. That's all from me. Thank you.